If you live in a place where it snows, have you ever noticed when snowfall is shifting to rain every year? According to a Chinese almanac, which can be applied to other places in the temperate zone of the Northern Hemisphere, the transition starts to take place on or around February 19th. It may be February 18th or February 20th, depending on when the sun reaches the celestial longitude of 330 degrees. The Chinese almanac divides the year into 24 solar terms, which have been recognized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization since 2016 as the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Each solar term is 15 to 16 days long. The solar term that marks the transition from snow to rain is called 雨水 in Chinese, which literally means rainwater. Ancient Chinese meteorologists divided the solar term into 3 parts. Each part is 5 to 6 days long. They said the first part of the solar term is when otters come out to eat fish. The second part is when wild swans and wild geese migrate north. The third part is when trees and seeds are sprouting. No wonder this is when many Chinese farmers pick a wild vegetable named 荠菜 in Chinese and the shepherd's purse in English. It's often shredded as an ingredient for dim sum items, such as buns, dumplings, and wonton. Many Shanghai-style restaurants, including those in America, serve these dim sum items. Shepherd's purse is a flowering plant, but it comes into bloom about a month later than rapeseed, which starts blooming in late February in the Yangtze River region of eastern central China. If you go to a village near Shanghai in late February or March, you will see a sea of golden yellow flowers carpeting farm fields. This is the first of the 3 flower species that embellish the solar term from late February to early March. The second flower species coming into bloom this solar term is apricot blossoms. Please note that Chinese people have historically raved about apricot blossoms in the Yangtze River Delta because they look particularly dreamy during misty and rainy days in the canal-woven Delta region, where spring is often summarized as apricot blossoms in the misty rain. A light spring shower is therefore called an apricot blossom drizzle, as the famous quote from a classical Chinese poem describes. An apricot blossom drizzle barely dampens my shirt. The drizzle through apricot blossoms is barely there, as elusive as a dream. That's what makes apricot blossoms one of the most poetic flower species in Chinese literature. Last mentioned in poetry but equally pretty are plum blossoms, which are the 3rd flower species that represent the solar term from late February to early March. Apricot and plum trees will stay in bloom through March, waiting for more flower species to join them during the next solar term, which will be featured in the next video on this channel. Please stay tuned. In the meantime, let's plan on a post-pandemic spring vacation.